You the group on the field there en masse before going to the locker room. Is that what you would typically call a kumbaya meeting? And where are you with your team right now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that with the locker rooms and stuff like that, I thought it was better to get it out of the way. Sometimes when these guys all come in here, they scatter, and I didn't want them to scatter. I wanted them to stay together and obviously deliver them a message that was extremely private and something that the family needs to take to heart if we're going to be all that we need to be.
You talk a lot about game management. You're very polished at that. I want to walk through that stretch in the fourth quarter. You had third down and long. You complete it short of the sticks by 4, 5, 6 yards. You faced fourth down there. 11 gaining you about 30 yards in field position because the punt backed them up to the 6. You got the punt back. Didn't get anything in the X position, and kind of that was it. You did not elect to go for a long field goal. You could walk us through the decision making down the stretch.
The long field goal was extremely the last big opportunity. We kicked that, and it's an 8-point deficit. Maybe you kick away, maybe you onside kick, maybe you get back in it. Once that opportunity was just on the outskirts, that's not the side to go for the long field goals. You want to go the other direction for the long field goals. And trust me, I wanted to go, but I just didn't think that Andre could hit that thing into the river side of the stadium. It's really difficult.
Yeah, point of fact, that is the difficult field goal in the NFL to kick into the open end of Heinz Field, but no opportunity taken there. I think that's what people want to just know. What was your thought or your plan there to take a shot down 11? You needed to score twice in the final moments.
Yeah, that was the deal. And once that expired, then it was going to be really difficult to win with 2 scores.
So the lone touchdown today comes, Coach, one play after Tommy DeVito becomes unavailable to you in the first half. It's Rex Culpepper with a heave down the sideline. 69 yards later, Taj Harris is into the end zone. What are you feeling for Rex? What is he feeling? And how about his brothers right now for all that he's been through? These were his first significant moments and first touchdown pass since 2017.
Well, Rex has been out there before. He's started some games and he's played some games for us. It was – obviously it was something that we needed. It was the first touchdown of 2020. And, there was a big load off everybody's shoulders. Wish we could have got a couple of more, but it wasn't meant to be.
Playmakers are primarily on the defensive side now in the best interest of using the time wisely here. If you could maybe address what you're seeing out of Michael Jones, Jeff Cantu-Arku, and if you think you're going to have playmakers offensively.
Well, I tell you what, defensively, we've got guys out there making plays. I mean, when you start looking at how many plays, oh, my goodness, they had 70, 80 plays compared to our 58. Our defense is out there 80 snaps. The offense is out there, 81, and offense is out there 58. And our defense has just been playing outstanding. If you cut off the fourth quarter when you start adding up how long they've been out there, and they've probably been out there too doggone long, I mean, their first 6 quarters of football has been outstanding versus 2 really strong opponents. So you would like to think that if we can get something going on offense and special teams, that we're going to have a defense that we can really be proud of when this smoke all clears. But obviously we got to make some changes, and we got to start getting that ball moving in the right direction.
Neither team scored in the fourth quarter today. It winds up being just 171 total yards. You're home for the next month, Coach. The next 3 games are in the Dome, new dome roof, all of that. What is at your disposal this week in terms of changes, motivation, and otherwise to get it headed in the right direction?
Well, motivation, if you're a football player, you're 0-2, that better be motivation enough. And if not, then that better be motivation enough. We're going to go back and we're going to look at the film, and if it's time to make a change, there's time to make changes. Now, you guys remember, people look at tape and they think, oh, you're going to automatically do this, you're going to automatically do that. You got to watch and see what's going on. It's not always the quarterback's fault. It's not always the running back that dropped the ball's fault. Okay, it's not always a defensive safety's fault when somebody catches the ball in the middle of the defense for a touchdown. There's a lot of stuff that goes in on that. The one post play, I think the first touchdown of the game, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, first touchdown of the game, I think they had like 3.5 seconds to throw the ball, which is ridiculous. Now, I'll go back and time it. Maybe it was me on coffee. I don't know. But it just seemed like that guy had a lot of time to look that thing in and to drive that ball down the field. And that's something that we traditionally don't give people. So we got to go back and check the tape. Once we check the tape, we'll have a better feel for what actually happened.
All right, 0-2 for the first time since 2013, but home for the next three. Coach, thanks for the candor and the time. Safe travels.
Thank you, Matt.
Orange head coach D.
Thank you, Coach. Now we'll go to Nico Tamurian from WSTM.
Hey, Coach. Appreciate your time as always. Obviously 0-2. A little bit of a stat here, and Matt just said it too. The last time the team was 0-2 in 2012 and 2013, the team made a bowl game both years. How much of it is it to say to your guys, okay, this isn't the start we wanted, but we can clean this up and we can make some good things happen here?
Well, there's no doubt that we can clean this thing up, and we're going to clean it up. Like I told Matt previously, I think the defense has played extremely well for 2 games. It might be some of the best defensive football I've seen since I've been here. Okay, and that's not trying to say anything bad about anyone else. If you take away the fourth quarters when they actually have been out there too long based off of how many 3-and-outs we're getting on offense, I mean, their first 6 quarters of football has been outstanding. Okay, now it's also the biggest drought that we've had on offense, and we've got to get that changed.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Nico. Next, we'll go to Eric Columbia from Spectrum News.
Hey, Dino, what is your confidence level in the offense right now, and how does that confidence level affect play calling on the offense?
Well, I think all that stuff is tied together, and what we need to do is you got to have faith. Just because you see some bad things happen as a play caller, if you start thinking, oh, this is going to happen, not doing anything, and you're really simple. So you can't allow that to happen, but you're definitely wishing some positive things would happen on certain calls, and you're trying to get away from some calls that maybe balls going in different places than what you feel it should be going.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Nate Mick from Syracuse.com.
Try to squeeze 2 short ones in here. One, what kind of trends or tendencies are you seeing right now in your red zone offense? And 2, did Rex Culpepper play his way into more of a role moving forward? You actually had him in as part of that red zone package earlier in the game before he came on in relief of Tommy.
Let me answer the second one first. First of all, we've got some packages for him. He can do some things, and based off of how we've been moving the football, he needs to have some packages. So yeah, we've got some packages in for him, and we think there's some things that he can do to help us get first downs and score points. When it goes back to the red zone question that you asked me, I think we need to take a long, hard look on what we do in the red zone. Not maybe because of us, but because of our defense. We've been there quite a bit, and yet we haven't had an opportunity to score a touchdown down there yet. And I think some of that is we have to really look at what we're trying to do down there, whether it's fast, whether it's slow, whether it's personnel, and make sure that we're putting our best foot forward when we get opportunities from the defense, because in the first 2 games, the defense has continuously showed that they will give us opportunities down there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Coach. Now we'll go to Mario Sacco from WSYR-TV.
Coach, you said numerous times the biggest growth is from week 1 to week 2 with football teams. Do you feel this team is making growth from week 1 to week 2 and what we saw out there today?
I think that you see an enormous growth from the defense. I mean, I don't know. Let me look at here. Pitt ended up with 215 total yards. Is that correct? No, excuse me, 342 yards. The team before that was in the 460s. Okay, I think that's a major improvement. From a special team standpoint, I thought the special teams were more solid, obviously, than versus North Carolina. So I think there was improvement there. We did score a touchdown on offense, so that is some improvement.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
You said, you'll watch the tape. Tommy had, 32 passing yards today. What do you have to see in the tape out of Tommy and out of Rex to make a switch at quarterback?
You're either frozen. I don't understand what you're saying. I think it's a connection issue. If you can hear me, you need to ask the question again.
Now?
So you're frozen.
Sorry, yeah. Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you now. Yes.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So my question is, you said that there are changes to be made, and you have to watch the tape over again. What do you have to see on that tape out of Tommy and out of Rex to make a switch at quarterback?
Well, first of all, that's not how we're going to evaluate the tape based off of situation and what's going on. And then when it comes to any of our family members, we're always going to make the decision that we think is best for the family. And both of those guys are in it to win it. You know, Culpepper already had a package. He went in on his package. Tommy understands he has a package. Those guys want to win more than anybody. And it's not just those two guys. I know the media likes to go straight to the quarterback. But there's a lot of things that are going out there, and there may be more changes than you guys really, from a knowledge standpoint, even realize, which may or may not go on. But we need to look at the tape. Speculation over that stuff's not going to do anybody any good. Let's look at the game tape, and so we can come to some conclusion on what actually happened and not what we think happened.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go for our last question today to Jacob Payne from 247 Sports.
Thanks, Coach, for taking the time. So Tommy's been sacked 7 times, back-to-back weeks. We know he got sacked a lot last season. He looked banged up today. At what point do you start to consider his long-term health?
You know, first of all, that young man is healthy, and he's one of the strongest cats we have. He's got New Jersey's arms on him. He's more than strong enough. But the big thing is this. That's coaching too. We've got to find a way to make sure that either we can protect him or that he's capable of protecting himself. And then if he doesn't do that, then we have to do other things. But this is not we're not going to get that young man hurt, okay? And you're right. We've had, I think it's 7 and 7, 14 sacks. And at this stage of the game, we're going to set the record. And I don't plan on setting the record in 2020. So we'll just have to see what happens going down the road.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Babers, thank you very much for your time today.